coming to you live. I thought it would be a good idea to talk about the color red since we're going into the holidays. What's the right and best red to wear for you based on your undertones and whether you are light, medium, or deep, etc. So the best way to know is if you have your color fan. So for me, I have right now in my hand my Bright Warm and Light color fan. This is the mini. And so you have all of one color on one page. And just about every single color type in your color style has this page here. This has a number 1 on it, which means that it is a true neutral red, meaning it doesn't really lean warm or cool. It's right there in the center and is ideal for both warm and cool undertones. So my range is a little light because I am light. So if you are deep, your page might be a little bit darker. It might lead up to darker. But this is the page that you want to use in your color fan when you're shopping to find your best red. This is the page that you're going to refer to often to see if it is a cool red or a warm red. Now, if it is a neutral red leaning warm, and you do have those in your fan for those that are warm undertones, then those are going to be ideal for warm undertones. If it's neutral leaning cool, and I'm going to show you an example of what that means, those would be ideal for someone with cool undertones. Okay, so you also want to pay attention to your depth. You don't want colors that are too dark for you if you're light, and you don't want colors that are too light for you if you're dark. So make sure you pay attention to that. But let's talk about warm versus cool red. What does that look like? What does that mean? So I'm going to share my screen so I could show you some examples, and keep this page in mind as we go through this, and I'll explain in just a moment. So let me share my screen for you. Okay, so this is a chart of red. Now, it's not exactly the reds that are in your color fans because this is showing blue being added to this neutral, true, balanced red. In the printing process, red is actually created with an even balance of magenta and yellow. And that's how you get red when you print. So that's how my color fans are created, because we use the CMYK printing process. The reason that I'm sharing that with you is if you get your color fan and you're looking to find a cool red in your color fan, you're not really going to find it. You're going to find these cool reds, but they're leaning more towards magenta. So when we talk about a cool red and what you're going to see in clothing, it's really, we go back to the red, yellow, blue, those primary colors. And when you add blue, you start to get these cool reds. It's a little bit different, but these are very hard to reproduce and print. So these are not exactly the colors that you're going to see in your color fan. So we're going to use this neutral red. This is that page I just showed you in the color fan, to use it as a guide when you go shopping. Because in reality, regardless of whether or not I could print these, I can't share every single nuance of a color in the fans. It'll be too many colors and very difficult to do. So I want to teach you how to use your color fan in a way so that you can start to develop your eye without having to have the exact match every single time. All right, so this is the neutral red. This is true and will look good and be flattering on everyone. Okay, now I am using a brighter red here, but this is still true for someone who needs a little bit of a softer red. You would just go a little bit lighter, a little bit darker to kind of cut the edge off, like this red right here. Now notice that when we add a little bit of yellow, we start to get to what's called a tomato red. Now in stores, it may still look like a true red, so you want to make sure that you have your fan with you, because when you hold up your true page to a tomato red, the red's going to look a little orange. Now, if you have warm undertones, you can use your fan a little bit more easily because you have some in-betweens here that you can play with. So let me show you what I mean. If you saw this blouse in the store, it looks red. Now, if you take your page here, this is your color fan, and you hold it up against this red, you can see that the red looks very orange compared to the true red. In fact, this true red now looks a little cool next to this red. That's how you know that this is a warm red. And if you are someone with cool undertones, this may not be your best red. If you have warm undertones, it's actually quite perfect. In fact, this is the tomato red that's up here with a little bit of yellow added, and you can see that it blends in much easier. Now, obviously not with the darker ones because you're going dark, but right here, you can see that it's more in the correct family. So when we come down a little bit more, we have more of a true red. This is almost an exact match to the true red. So this red is a perfect red for both cool and warm undertones. It's a beautiful red, it's neutral, and can be worn by pretty much everyone. This red looks like a true red. It is something you would see in the stores for sure. And when you put your page up against it, notice now that the true red looks almost orange. It's looking very warm all of a sudden next to this red. This tells me that this red is now leaning a little bit cool. And if you have warm undertones, this may not be your best red. It'll be better for someone with cool undertones. And you can see now that the reds are starting to get a little cooler. There's a little bit more blue added here. If you weren't too sure, you could hold up your color fan and notice that all the shades of this red are looking very orange. This sweater is looking very blue-ish next to it. So you can see, you won't have this in your fan, but if I pull over a cooler red, you can see that it's starting to look a little bit more harmonious with the cooler red, which is a little bit of blue. We can keep going a little bit cooler. Now this sweater here has some black threads in it. If you have a sweater that has a lot of black threads in it, it's going to cool down the color. So unless you're very deep and you can see that this is a very true red, it's going to be a very cool red ultimately, the feel, and it leans more cool. Even so, I don't see this being a red that is really a good match for the true red. The true red looks a little bit warm. If we bring it over a cooler red here, you can see that that is a little bit more imbalanced here. So it's a cool red that we're looking at. Keep going a little bit cooler. Now you're starting to see more of like the plum colors. Now this is a very popular color for the season. Very on trend. So if you have cool undertones, this is going to look absolutely gorgeous on you. You can see here that this is the color. This is a darker red with the blue added. It's cool and perfect for cool undertones. Same here. A lot more blue is added. We're getting to those beautiful plum colors now, and still ideal for someone with cool undertones. Okay, and then lastly, this is another color. This is also a cool, like a mauvey pinkish purple. It is cool. You can see that it's very similar to this color right here. Get that back for you. Sorry about that. You can see that it's very much in the family here. So this is also a cool red, but it's, starting to lean more towards those plum colors. So I hope that helps. With just this one page in your color fan, you can very quickly see if a color is going to be cool or warm. You hold it up to the fabric. If your true red is looking like it blends in, perfect. If it's looking very orange next to this garment, then it is a cool red. And if it is looking, if this one page is looking a little bit, not really red, but the garment's looking more not really orange, but the garment's looking more orange, this is going to be a warm red. Warm reds and neutral reds go with warm undertones, and neutral to cool work with the cool undertones. So I hope that helps. If you don't know your color type just yet, including your undertones, take the quiz at yourcolorstyle.com/quiz. It's free and will help you and guide you to your color type so that you can get your color fan and you can shop with it with confidence. You can also check out the DIY course. It lets you put your photo inside of the color wheels. It's a lot more fun and visual for you to see what your color type is, and that's at yourcolorstyle.com/DIY. So I hope that helps. I'm Jen Vax, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.